Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. Content is intended to provide accurate information, however, is not intended as financial, tax, or legal advice. Please consult a financial, legal, or tax professional for specific information regarding your individual situation. Opinions expressed and provided are for general informational purposes only and should not be considered a solicitation for the purchase or sale of any security.
Welcome to Protect and Grow with Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns of TJ Stearns Incorporated. Trust, respect, and results. TJ Stearns Incorporated focuses on comprehensive financial planning and benefits.
And welcome into the program. This is Protect and Grow, Chicagoland Retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, your resource for a common sense approach to planning for your financial investment retirement future is Tim Stearns. Unwrapping the complexities of the financial world can be difficult. Tim Stearns is a certified financial planner here to help us do just that and make sense of the tools that we have available, the strategies that we have, the things that we should be paying attention to in order to achieve our financial goals, determine our outcome financially. And Tim, we always appreciate you providing that guidance and perspective for us.
Peter, thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure, Tim. Thank you for being here. And over the course of the past several weeks and months, Tim, we've been highlighting a series of reports that you have and you've put together: the 12 questions to know if you're ready to retire, the 10 steps to prepare, the 8 moments to move your money, the 7 financial myths, the 6 core issues every plan must address, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Collectively, we have called them the countdown to retirement. And today on the program, I'm going to talk about a few more of these. But Tim, you make these reports available. If anybody wants a single one or has questions on a particular topic, you probably have a particular report that covers it. But collectively, all of these reports, they probably cover a good amount of breadth and depth of what we need to be paying attention to in order to have that plan in place for our retirement.
I think all these reports are important in their own facet, whatever that they might be speaking of. If you're getting ready to retire, you need to make sure that you know exactly what you're getting yourself involved in. I think a lot of people, there's been forced retirements, or people retire because of their health, mental health as well, that they might not have thought of X and Y and Z. Well, these reports kind of tweak your memory to sit there and go, wow, I didn't think about X, that type of thing. So I'm going to launch right into it. I'd like to talk about the 5 planning mistakes to avoid. And number one is, not having a grip on your retirement, and, get a grip, right? People say as a joke, right. But, yeah. A guaranteed retirement income plan is what we use as our acronym for GRIP. And basically, without having a grip in retirement, you may lose hold of your lifestyle because you didn't plan. So that's something that I think, you have to correlate with Social Security. You have to correlate with your budget that you have going on at the household. Are you looking to move out of state? Are you going to buy another place in maybe a warmer climate? All these different things come into this plan that we can actually make sure that people can pay their bills. If there's a downturn in the market, they're still able to pay their bills. And then, make sure that they have in the market some diversity with also stop losses and that type of thing. But at the end of the day, income allocation plan is huge, and you need to have that.
Well, I think the important letter here is that P, Tim, the plan, because we all, when we get to retirement, hopefully should, and for right now in the foreseeable future, we do have some guaranteed retirement income sources. We've got Social Security there, and a few of us are even still lucky enough to have a pension. So the guaranteed retirement income sources are nice, but if we don't have a specific plan for how to use them, and we have not thought that process of when and how to turn those sources on, Tim, we may make some missteps, and we could potentially lose out on what could cumulatively be hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of our lifetime that either is going to come from these guaranteed sources, or if we do make those missteps, we're going to have to generate from our personal portfolio.
Right. And you know, that's the last thing you want to do is to have to make adjustments because you didn't plan ahead. You know, I tell my kids this, and I'm going to tell anyone out there listening, get ahead of it. Make sure you have a plan, because not having a plan is having a plan. You know, and not knowing if you can make it in a 30+ year retirement, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. And a lot of people who come in here, they have not been able to sleep, and they're worried about, you know, what happens if something happens to me?
Yep.
You know, what happens to my spouse? Well, you know, we take into account that, you know, when we're doing an income allocation plan, the income that we generate for them, it's based on either two or one person. It doesn't matter. So if God forbid someone passes, like in my family's example, my father passed away, my mom only gets half of his pension. So, you know, that's a haircut, you know, that, you know, I mean, she knew it was coming at some point, but, you know, you want to make sure that you're able to account for that and shore it up. But again, she is a very good financial planner.
Yeah. And Tim, knowing your story, for her, that happened sooner than she would have liked to have thought or anticipated. And then we've talked about this with your father's career and profession. He also, and this is kind of a unique case, but for railroad industry workers, they don't have the benefit of the Social Security there. So that for your family was a pretty impactful. And I know that that's actually one of the motivating factors, one of the reasons why you take this side of planning so seriously. It's kind of been your niche in the financial world. Not every advisor has that kind of perspective.
Right. It hits home. So you want to make sure that other people don't go through something like that.
Yeah.
You know, thankfully my mom is fine, but at the end of the day, I mean, that's, you know, kind of a kick in the pants, as they say. So that's something that I think is huge. And that's kind of one of the reasons I do this job, is because I want to make sure people are fine in retirement. Getting someone to the finish line feels better than anything in the world for us at TJ Stearns.
The problem there, Tim, is that a lot of advisors view the finish line as retirement. That's just the first half of the game, so to speak. And the second half is where the game's won or lost.
Right. And at the end of the day, that last part should be enjoyable, correct? You're not working anymore.
Absolutely.
Maybe you're hanging out with your grandkids and taking those trips you've never been able to. But if you don't have enough money, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Or if you don't have a plan, you can have some people. I have a client who, she was supposed to stay at a hotel for a grandson's wedding, and she was concerned about the $200. And I told her, you can spend that, you have that money. Well, and it's a different era for those people. They are savers, and they're not really enjoying their retirement, because they lived through the Great Depression. Let's flip that aside. We have baby boomers who've learned from those people, and you have baby boomers that are savers too, which is great. But you got to live a little bit in retirement too. And what does that look like? Well, if you have an income allocation plan, you can define that.
Well, Tim, I think that your perspective and kind of your backstory personally is why we talk about a lot of the topics in the way that we do here on the program, and why in this series of reports, the countdown to retirement, the number five planning mistakes to avoid, you put not having a GRIP, a guaranteed retirement income plan, in writing as planning mistake to avoid number one. And if you don't have that planned and mapped out, ladies and gentlemen, pick up the phone, give Tim Stearns a call. That is part of the Protect and Grow planning process, proprietary process. You will not get that anywhere else. That's Tim Stearns at TJ Stearns Inc., certified financial planner, who puts together those Protect and Grow plans. And if you'd like to have one for your situation, for you and your spouse's financial comfort and confidence together during life, and for the protection of your family members and those that you care about, give Tim Stearns a call. He offers to put that together, no cost, no obligation, for radio show listeners, free of charge. You don't have to take any action with it, but you got that plan in your hands. That is very reassuring. And similar plans can easily go upwards of $1,000 to several thousands of dollars for the time and the work that a certified financial planner puts into helping you understand your risk, your taxes, your fees, your investments, your income, your health care, the total plan is covered in that Protect and Grow plan. Pick up the phone, give a call. call, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. And Tim, I actually got the comment recently. This is kind of a little off of our topic of the countdown to retirement, but I got a question in conversation of how do you come up with new material to cover on the program each and every week when you're talking with Tim? And I said, we don't. And they said, what do you mean? And I said, we talk about things in different ways and from a different angle, but a lot of the topics are the same from week to week. And they say, well, doesn't that get repetitive? And I asked them kind of rhetorically, a little bit of a smart Ellick tone in my voice, well, have you taken action on it yet? And, and the response was silence. And I said, well, maybe you need to hear it again,
Right.
And I think that's why we talk about these things and why these reports are so valuable and important is that somebody can have a subtle reminder there. When we talk about it on air, we're reminding people that, hey, this is a different angle and a different attitude and a different perspective of planning. And if you read these series of reports, the countdown to retirement, ladies and gentlemen, you can call and request them. They talk about planning mistakes to avoid. They talk about financial myths. They talk about healthcare and taxes and the biggest expenses that you'll have in retirement and how to have a grip in your retirement, a guaranteed retirement income plan. If you'd like the countdown to retirement series of reports, give Tim Stearns a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. But Tim, number 2 on this list of the 5 planning mistakes to avoid, something that a lot of people are doing right now, they are making this mistake, taking inappropriate risks. This is something that you talk about on the program almost on a weekly basis, is that you're seeing people simply taking too much risk with their money.
Well, you have people in their 60s taking inappropriate risk. And what I mean by that is they're mostly in equity mutual funds or equities. And, they've kind of let it, again, it's like a style drift, where they meant to have a certain balance of stocks and bonds, but stocks have gone up quicker than bonds. So it's taken over the portfolio. I don't think they realize that. And I explained to them, are you willing to lose 50%? Because that's what this portfolio did 2000 through 2002, 2007 through 2009. They lost 50% each time, and then next thing it follows that you had, a 10-year of the lost decade. If you do that in retirement, that's going to be an issue. So we try to explain to people, you lost all this money back then, but you were 50, and that's okay maybe. But you filled it back up by doing dollar cost averaging and your 401ks and your IRAs and all that fun stuff. But now you're going to come to a point where you're retired and you're going to have a finite amount of money. What is in your 401k on that last day is what it's going to be unless you have growth in there. If you have a loss, it's going to be that too. So at the end of the day, you need to make sure you know exactly how much risk. So one of the things we offer to people, and I would tell anyone to take us up on this, we have a risk analysis that we use to look at exactly what that number looks like. Are you willing to lose this much? And most people go, oh my gosh, no. And when you get a husband and wife in here, they're what? I can't believe that, that we're taking that much risk. One of them is usually, squeamish when they see what it looks like. So that's what we do for people. And I would tell anyone out there, that has over $500,000 worth of assets, give us a call and we'll do a risk analysis for free.
800-640-2256 is the number to call for that free, complimentary, no cost, no obligation risk analysis on your portfolio. If nothing else, just understand how much the current positions that you hold right now have lost in previous downturns. And if they have lost that in previous downturns, do you have the potential? Is there the possibility that they would lose that again in the future? That's how you gauge and quantify the risk that you are taking in your portfolio. That's not shown in black and white or red on the top of our statement. So a lot of people don't have the complete fundamental understanding of the actual amount of risk that they're taking. And if you would like to have that understanding, again, it's part of the Protect and Grow plan, but that risk analysis is something that can be done independently. Tim Stearns, a certified financial planner, can quantify that for you. Pick up the phone and give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. And Tim, I'm going to do a slide transition here from a couple of these different countdown to retirement reports. Still on the 5 planning mistakes to avoid, the number 3 is the gross planning mistake. And simply put, this is not factoring in taxation on those retirement accounts, planning on gross numbers. Oh, I have got $1 million in my 401k. Fantastic. Congratulations. But no, you don't, because you haven't paid tax on it yet, the gross planning mistake. And then your number 3 report, the 3 largest expenses in retirement and how to plan to control them. The number 1 on this is our largest known expense in retirement is most likely going to be taxes.
Right. That is always your number 1 bill, in retirement. So when
during our working career, my tax bill gets paid before I even see my money, Tim. But that's not the case in retirement, and why we need to address this.
Right. And I agree with you. So, and what do taxes look like? We don't really know right now. A lot can happen in Washington, D.C., but at the end of the day, when I ask someone when we're doing an income allocation, they'll say, I'll just use a whole number. They'll say, we're going to live on $100,000. I'll say, is that a gross number or is that a net number? And they go, what do you mean? I'm like, you have not paid taxes on that money yet. So is it a gross number, meaning that you can live on that minus, 25, 30%, and then oh, wow, we got to think about taxes. Yes, you do. The other thing we ask people, if you have $1 million we'll do this in class. If you have $1 million in your 401k, how much of it's really yours? And, we drum it down and show them, that about $750,000, at the max is roughly still yours.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So, the IRS has a plan for every dollar you've ever made. And trust me when I tell you, in retirement, they still have that plan.
Well, if we're thinking about retiring, one of the things we need to think about is what are the largest expenses we're going to face in retirement. And Tim, by that point in time, a lot of people are rightfully so very proud and feeling accomplished by having no debts, the paid off home, the kids are up and out and gone. And fantastic, congratulations. But we do still, for many of us, have a debt. We may not realize it, but it's a debt to the IRS. And we look at it as a positive value, that $1 million, but contained right within that $1 million is the debt to the IRS, yet to be determined. We cannot control it. The IRS can. They can change the amount. And if you don't view it as a debt, just wait until they start requiring minimum payments on it. Very much like a credit card, Tim, or a mortgage payment. The IRS requires minimum payments on that debt at a certain point in the future. So it is one of our largest expenses in retirement, probably our largest known expense. And it is something that you do need to address in your planning, ladies and gentlemen. The series of reports, the Countdown to Retirement, will remind you of that and prompt you to different ways of thinking about how to handle it, identifying some of the strategies that are available to control it. If you'd like the Countdown to Retirement or your specific Protect and Grow plan to show you which of those strategies is right for your situation, give a call now to Tim Stearns and request the Protect and Grow plan and the Countdown to Retirement. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. Tim, you said a lot can happen in Washington. I'm actually worried that what does not happen, because I know that they've talked about increasing taxes on the rich and the wealthy. But as I understand it, the current tax laws that we have in place are set to expire at the end of the year 2025. And the way that works is even the lowest tax bracket, the 12% at that point in time, bumps up to 15%. Yeah. Right. So taxes are going up on all of us if they do nothing to change that. And it doesn't sound like they're talking about lowering taxes for anyone.
Right. And one of the questions we ask in retirement classes, and again, I don't care what political affiliation people are, but they always say taxes are going up. That's a real thing. So they've been the lowest they've been in 80 years. You might want to look at doing some Roth conversions while you can, at these lower tax brackets. And then we talked about this on the radio show the other day, is that, when President Clinton did it, he did it retro to the beginning of the year. With President Obama, it was the next year. So hopefully, if they make any changes right now in the middle of the game, middle of the year rather, then you pay taxes on, this year you have the old tax brackets, and then next year going forward, it's a whole different ballgame.
So at least we could see it coming rather than already having been affected by it.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, these are factors. These are variables in the equation, in the math formula that you need to figure out on how to solve for retirement. It's like algebra, and there is a order of operations. If you remember math class, it was please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And if you didn't do it in that specific order, you got the wrong answer. Tim, I can see you're having bad throwbacks there.
Yeah, a little bit of a flashback.
Yeah, sometimes we did it in the wrong order. We got the wrong answer. We didn't know why. And then the teacher reminded us of, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Well, in retirement, Tim, you know that order of operations. That's what you help people with so that they can control and get the right answer and the right outcome. And ladies and gentlemen, if you would like that Protect and Grow plan to show you your order of operations, when and how to use certain assets and accounts and what they mean for you, what you can count and rely on for your net income, don't make that gross planning mistake. Understand and account for our largest expense, taxation. Pick up the phone and give a call. Tim is a certified financial planner, willing to help you put your plan together, or even if you already have some tools and a plan, to double check that plan to make sure it's complete for the next stage of your financial life. 800-640-2256 is the number to call. 800-640-2256. Tim, next on this list of the three largest expenses in retirement and how to plan to control them, the number 2 one is not something that everyone is going to be affected by to the greatest extent, but it is, if we are affected by it, probably going to surpass the taxes, has the ability to anyway. It's our largest potential expense, and that is the threat of healthcare costs, long-term care costs that's above and beyond routine medical expenses and Medicare premiums. Even those alone, Tim, constitute a pretty hefty expense in retirement.
Right. And 7 out of 10 Americans are going to need long-term care, and 9 out of 10 Americans don't have it. So that being said, one of the things we talk to clients about are these hybrid long-term care products where you can actually, it's not use it or lose it. You know, my mom and dad's era, they all were use it or lose it. You know, they paid a lot of money into them. They weren't really priced right by the insurance companies, and either the companies are jacking up the prices exorbitantly, or, you know, and it's, again, use it or lose it. So these new hybrid plans, in some fashion, whatever family is putting, the Smith family, let's give an example, is putting money out there for this hybrid, someone's going to get it back in the form of a death benefit, long-term care components, and then there's cash value in it. And it's, a lot of people don't know about them. They sit there and go, oh, you know, long-term care, my mom never used it. You know, she paid into it forever. This is a whole different ball game. Get educated about what's out there. They're much better products. It's also a forced savings, you know, that you can actually put money into that, you know, if you need cash value down the road, you could use. And then lastly, you know, I hope you don't have to use this, but 2 of your activities of daily living can't be done, getting dressed, feeding yourself, transference, that type of thing, then you're able to pull down on the death benefit to help offset some of these long-term care prices, you know, costs. So around here, the average is about $350 a day if you need, you know, very intensive care, and it goes down from there, right? But at the end of the day, you know, you need to account for it. You wouldn't go without car insurance. You wouldn't go without house insurance. But the chances of you having a fire in your house are, you know, very slim, versus, again, 7 out of 10 Americans are going to need this.
Kind of scary stats and statistics on that, but burying our heads in the sand still leaves our backside exposed. Sure. We don't want to take that approach. We want to face this one head on, ladies and gentlemen. And again, a little bit of a slide transition here, Tim, is that the report that you have, the countdown, the 3 largest expenses in retirement and how to plan to control them. The third one being the silent thief, inflation. But ladies and gentlemen, if you would like this series of reports, this countdown to retirement, to understand a lot of the different aspects that you need to face, or if you like a specific plan that addresses all of these aspects, that's what the Protect and Grow plan is all about. Pick up the phone and give a call. Tim Stearns willing to put that Protect and Grow plan together for you, or provide you with the complete series of the Countdown to Retirement series of reports. 800-640-2256, the number to call. Moving to the next report, Tim, skipping one, but the number 1 report. 3, 2, 1 blast off here. This is right before blast off. What is the number one most important factor determining your retirement success? And when we look at the 3 most biggest expenses in retirement, how do we control expenses? How do we address expenses? Well, the number one most important factor determining your retirement success, Tim, is income. And yet a lot of plans look at income as a afterthought rather than the primary need.
Right. And obviously, people come to us all the time and ask us, hey, I have a lump sum of X. Is that enough? But at the end of the day, in retirement, it's all about being able to pay your bills, and having, a steady income that that you're going to receive besides, let's say, Social Security or a pension. So when we build a plan, we make sure that they have income so that if the market slides like it did in March of 2020, that's not a concern, because you still have your bills being paid by maybe a fixed index annuity, maybe a stop loss mutual fund that throws off money every month. I don't know what that looks like for each person. It's not a cookie cutter situation, but you have to have a plan where that your income, rain or shine, is coming every single month.
And Tim, the income is what's going to provide for addressing these largest expenses. It's what's going to provide for our financial confidence. Income, being able to count and rely on it, Tim, that's quality of life into and throughout retirement. And again, with the traditional status quo method of planning, asset allocation, it focuses on the assets first. How are they invested? What's the rate of return? What's the risk? And that's good when we have a paycheck to support that investment plan. But the day after retirement, we don't separate from our need for income. We leave the paycheck behind, not the need for it. So the plan for that phase, it needs to reflect that need for income. And that's what the book that you offer on the program really helps people get a better understanding of, and details the risks that are associated with making that transition.
I'd love to offer it out there to people. The first 10 callers that have over $500,000 worth of assets will get the income allocation book into their hands. It's a great book. It's a great, workbook to figure out how to retire effectively, to make sure that you understand what needs to be done, what doesn't need to be done. So, it gives a plan, which in retirement, you have to have a plan.
Pick up the phone if you'd like that Protect and Grow plan, if you'd like the book Income Allocation, if you'd like the Countdown to Retirement series of reports. Call right now to talk with certified financial planner Tim Stearns. Request the time and opportunity to get that plan put together. 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. You can also go online, tjstearns.com. Lots of great information there. A quick video that actually explains the concept of income allocation and why it's different, why it's important to understand the differences, and your opportunity to request and claim the book online as well. tjstearns.com, or give a call right now, 800-640-2256. Tim, always important information. I'm glad that you've got so many different resources for education available, the book, the reports, the classes that you teach, the radio show here. But at the end of the day, it's the value of the education is putting it into action. We've got to have that Protect and Grow plan in place, don't we?
Yes, sir. Don't let procrastination be your friend. And make sure that you give us a call and see what we can help you with, whether it's risk analysis, an income allocation plan, or just making sure that you're diversified. We are able to do that. We're certified in Social Security as well as Medicare. There's all the things that go into a retirement, and we can help people.
And he's looking forward to hearing from you, ladies and gentlemen, helping and assisting with whatever your needs are in any way they can. TJ Stearns, Tim Stearns, certified financial planner, and the Protect and Grow proprietary plan. Pick up the phone and give a call, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256, all the time that we have. And we'll talk to you again real soon.
Tune into Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns' full radio program on 890 WLS every Sunday at 11 a.m. and visit tjstearns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of Chicagoland Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.